Hello viewers, this is Marianne from Revealing Light Tarot. I wanted to read on a few things today. I wanted to start with William Barr. I think it's quite clear now that he misrepresented in the Mueller report in relation to that summary that he put forward. It was designed to place a veil there between Trump and the general public. Conclusions that would be drawn on the Mueller report. I also feel at the time that Barr did contemplate just bringing forward that summary, or certainly testing the waters. Of course, that would never fly toward Congress. However, Congress is now having to subpoena Barr the full Mueller report, because Barr has said that Congress will get a redacted copy of the Mueller report certainly by mid-April or before. So there was a feeling there. I felt that Barr was trying to defend the president, but it did misrepresent Mueller's work. Now we've had reported, I say reported because I can't confirm these reports in the media, that members of Mueller's investigation team have come out and said that they felt that Barr's summary misrepresented what's actually in there, and that the report is actually quite damning for Donald Trump. So I want to revisit these issues. I also really, after yesterday's reading that I did, or the earlier reading I did, Donald Trump was mispronouncing the word origin more than once, and I do feel that he is sliding mentally, and I wondered whether the GOP were actually going to find some backbone and do something about this. So, but let's get started. I'm just going to ask, now when I pose this question, I'm not saying that Barr broke the law. Please don't think that I'm saying that. He didn't. He's too clever to do that. But in sticking within the law, did William Barr cover up for Trump? Was this an attempt? Was it an attempt at a cover up here? Was Barr attempting to cover up, staying within the law, but cover up for Trump, to position Trump well and favourably, and somehow I guess throw off any overt conclusions that around collusion and obstruction. Was he trying to do, what was he trying to do? Now the card that fell out was Temperance, which is balance. So what that is telling me is that he was trying to bring forth some balance in front of what could be damning information coming out in the Mueller report. It's almost like when you sit down to a negotiation, because that's the other aspect of this card. When you sit down to a negotiation, you're actually trying to gain ground for the person you're negotiating on, and at the same time you're asking someone to give ground. Now that's what he was doing with the Mueller report. Now what has challenged him is actually the needs, the security of the nation. He won't be judged very well in history, because in doing that, in covering for this Republican president, who clearly has done has something to answer for, he has put the Republicans' need to stay in power, or the Republican agendas, before the actual interests of America. And I do feel that once he had brought that summary forward, this is actually what started to dawn on him. He realised that the average person, the average family, the average voter was actually not on his side. They weren't supporting this kind of balanced negotiation at the table position that he adopted, and that it made him stop and think. And he quickly walked back his summary in the ways that we already know, and agreed that that redacted report would be made available to Congress. However, redacted report is not what the Congress or the House actually wants. They want the full report, because the danger here is that Barr will again try and put the veil up in order to better negotiate the president's position. So again, if he does that, he is threatening the national security. There is clear and obvious evidence that there is something wrong with your president. So the foundation of the reading is, whichever way Barr tries to slice it, it is not going to work, because there is the illumination card here. Now, this came forward in my earlier readings on Mueller's report. It's going to be quite illuminating. This is also a yes card. So I asked, was Barr trying to cover up within the bounds of the law to protect this president? Yes, he was. Now, the reason that I'm doing this reading now is because when the Mueller report first broke, and people were questioning why we've been saying there's so much trouble in the Mueller report for Trump, and now there was no collusion. You were wrong. Everyone that was saying that there's trouble for Trump, we really did cop some criticism. So I came online to try and calm everybody down, and also to let them know, just wait, step back from the snap reactions of the media, step back and let and observe things, because things were going to play out, and they are playing out. And today I wanted to do this reading to really put it out there that what William Barr did within the law, saying he didn't do it, he didn't break the law, not that I know of, but no, he didn't. He's not that, he's smarter than that. But he did try and bring some balance to the tables to try and position Trump in a more favourable light. That summary was a negotiation. He wanted to take ground from the Mueller report and gain ground for the president. And that was wrong. That was wrong, because it put his desire to protect the Republican president ahead of the national security of the average American person. Now, in the past, this card's coming up quite a lot. This is the King of Cups. It's around support. It's around benign leadership. It's around the benign parent here. And I do feel that this is what you've had in the office of the president in the past. You've had certainly that in Obama. He left a very, very strong economy. What Trump is doing now, and why what Barr has done is, and the GOP is wrong in not holding this president to account, is because this president is jeopardising not just national security, but also the economy as well. Here we are. Here we are, the emperor. He was protecting the office of the president. In the future, we've got the Hanged Man, which is showing that when the Mueller report comes out, likely in April, there's going to be an impasse. There's going to be a period of time where it could also be that he will seek to stall the full Mueller report coming out. I know that the House has subpoenaed the full report, but I do feel that they're going to try and stall that for as long as they possibly can. Now, Barr's redacted copy, what's that going to look like? What is that? It's going to buy more time, because in the end, the truth will come out. I do feel at the moment that Trump's presidency has stalled. And we can see that in the way that he's behaving at the moment, threatening Obamacare, losing that, not having another health policy, having to walk back his attack on Obama, on the Affordable Care Act, threatening to close the border with Mexico, his threat to try and take the focus away from the Mueller report and put it onto other things. Now, this card is Trump at the moment. It's linking with the Hanged Man, the stalling of his presidency. It's saying that his presidency is coming to an end. I have to say, I do have quite strong impressions. When I read yesterday, I drew the Four of Swords, which can be a card of ill health. When he stumbled over his words, this is a president under great, he's facing monumental challenges. Will he hang on, or should he just do the sensible thing and go? The environment around here is loss. That's coming over the death card here. It's the ending of the presidency, but there's loss for everyone here. The hopes and the fears, this is generally a hope card, Barr. Now let's go back to Barr, the ending of the presidency. There's not much Barr can do for this president. It's ending. His presidency is ending. However, also this is the card that has come up in a lot of my readings for Barr. I think when he was undergoing his nomination hearing, this card actually came up, and I wondered, and I said he's in a no-win situation. In other words, he's going to face loss. Anyone who is wanting to have a look at things, information that's been coming forward, please go back through all of my readings. Don't just look at one or two and make an assumption. Go back to last year. And you'll see that consistently this information has been coming forward. So we've got the Eight of Pentacles there in the hopes and fears. This is wanting to leave a body of work, and this is the hope that the full Mueller report will come through, but it's also representing the fear that it will as well. It's trying to stop that large body of work coming through. Now this is the Harvest card. It's the card of really needing to assess, and this is the outcome card here for Barr. For the question, was he trying to, within the law, shield and cover up for this president? It's pretty obvious that he was. He was trying to intervene to get a particular result, or to stall or forestall or mitigate or negotiate a particular result. He intervened. He jumped in the middle of something that he shouldn't have jumped in, and that's quite obvious now. It's quite obvious he made a mistake, because we've got the strength of the Mueller report, but also the strength of the desire for people to see the full Mueller report and the secrets that it will reveal. That can't be stopped now. So we've got the reasons why Barr did that, the disappointment in the harvest, or the needing to intervene to stop the disappointment. But we've got the strength and the wealth of the information that's likely to come forward, and the secrets that will be revealed as a result. So I do feel that he will probably try and get away with doing those redactions within the scope of the law that he has to work with. But really, at the end of the day, this reading is telling us that while he did seek to create balance and negotiate there for the office of the president, it's not really going to work, because the what's in the report is so strong. Now, we're not talking about marching Trump off in handcuffs. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about enough information there of potential wrongdoing, inappropriate, unethical, potentially criminal behaviour there. And the reasons why Mueller couldn't recommend charges or bring forward indictments, all of that will become clear in the Mueller report. So it will allow us to join the dots. So I'm just going to look at now, because the House has subpoenaed the full report, I've got this feeling that Barr is going to stonewall and offer up a redacted copy. It's not going to be easy this month in April. It will be revealing because we're prizing open the truth, but I don't feel it's going to be easy to get that full report. So let's have a look at that. So Barr will work within the law, and I do believe that I've read somewhere that he is bound to provide the Mueller report to Congress. However, taking out information, classified information that grand jury information that may jeopardise the investigations. There are several legal, there's several laws that he will rely on, precedences that he will rely on to make sure that the redacted report comes out and not the full report. However, the card that's jumping out is the judgment card here. So he's again going to face judgment for his actions. Now, the Knight of Pentacles here, there's something here around money. There is some kind of connection here around money, and this, in the final Mueller report, this is what came forward in my previous readings. There is a link here between Trump's business and what Mueller was looking at, and there's going to be judgment on it. Again, we've got this money news, this information coming out here. This is somebody proposing something to do with finances. This is some kind of news about that proposition. In the past, we've got manipulation, okay, and juggling. I do believe this is juggling his business with the campaign and potentially other things. This is, as I said, also manipulation in the past. Now, there's a compromise here coming forward. I do believe this talks about multiple forces weighing heavily on Barr. There is some kind of compromise here that he will make. We've got Mueller coming forward here. Now, does this mean Mueller is going to... yes, Mueller's going to go before Congress. So while Barr might try and stonewall, bring forward a redacted copy, in the meantime, Congress is going to subpoena Mueller. Okay, now we've got loss here for Barr, and we've got someone walking away here, someone disappointed, someone moving on. We're talking here about Barr, but I do feel we're talking about the president. The hopes and fears, did Barr do enough? Has he done enough? And the fear that Barr would bring forward a redacted copy. But we've got the Wheel of Fortune here. Karma's too strong in this situation. It is turning in the favour of the truth. It is going to be revealing the secrets. And they're going to come forward, lots of them, and quite quickly when Mueller, I feel Mueller's going to be testifying before Congress. So I've got a low battery here, so I'm going to shut down this reading, and I will look. I'm quite concerned about Trump's health, the slurring of his words, the erratic behaviour, the lies, which are all in the public domain, which is really quite serious. I want to look at his health issues, and I want to look at whether the GOP are positioning themselves in any way to hold this president accountable from an observer's point of view, from someone in another country, an ally of the US looking on. It is a damning, damning scene that we're witnessing. So I'll leave that reading for... I think for tomorrow, but I'll bring forward this one. I think it's important to really acknowledge that what Barr did was trying to bring balance here into a situation really negotiate on behalf of a Republican president, and it was absolutely the wrong thing to do. History will actually tell that story. So I'm going to leave that there. I hope you enjoyed the reading. Thank you.